Hi there, folks. My name's NovaWrap24, and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings-on from the week that was. So here we are on October the 2nd, 2022 for another action-packed episode, and what an episode we have got for you this week. And we're going to kick it off with the latest world update for Microsoft Flight Simulator, with O Canada now being available for the community. So this is the latest in the series. In fact, this is the 11th world update that we have seen for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and covers all of Canada and giving us greatly enhanced terrain mesh and updated photoreal imagery for much of the country, along with new photogrammetry cities. We won't get into the conversation about the pros and cons of photogrammetry. We'll let that to another discussion. Veritable stack of POIs, which is too long to list here, and 5 new handcrafted airports, including Bella Coola, Castlegar, Dawson City, Deer Lake, and Iqaluit International Airport. Along with that, you also get 3 new bush trips, one covering Vancouver Island, one in Newfoundland, and one through the Canadian Rockies, along with 3 new landing challenges and 3 new discovery flights. The discovery flight over Toronto has caused much consternation through users who obviously perhaps new to the world of photogrammetry with the portrayal of the CN Tower. And I have to admit that I'm a little surprised that the team didn't make the CN Tower into a custom 3D model POI. I'll be honest, I am a little surprised about that. I am not a little surprised. I am very surprised by that, particularly considering that the nearby Harris Water Treatment Plant got a custom 3D model and the CN Tower didn't. Anyway, but we're going to leave that to one side. Either way, this is a great add-on to your sim. Even if you do turn photogrammetry off, you will still get a lot of cool new features added to your sim, and this is available for free, like all of the world updates for this sim. Don't forget, folks, if this is your first world update, or maybe if you've forgotten, make sure that you do. Although it is a free update, you have to purchase it for $0 from the in-sim marketplace to install it to be able to get the full benefit for it. And as I said, this is available now for free from the in-sim marketplace, available now. Moving on to aircraft releases for Microsoft Flight Simulator this week, and leading the charge is the team over at Cockspur with the release of their long-awaited Cessna Citation C510 Mustang. Now, this aircraft has been in loving development for a considerable amount of time now, and the quality of it is absolutely outstanding. It really is. I have been very fortunate enough. I got to test fly a pre-release copy of this one, and I was absolutely blown away by this aircraft. I really, really was. Now, this aircraft comes to us with a high fidelity of simulation modeling of the systems, as well as an incredibly detailed 3D external model, along with 3 different variants of the aircraft. So you get the base aircraft, the base Cessna 510. You also get the High Sierra variant, and along with an air ambulance variation as well, complete with an air ambulance color scheme. So there is a lot going on this one. As I said, highly detailed systems modeling throughout the aircraft, highly accurate flight model, all of which have been built in conjunction with real Mustang pilots, custom engine sounds, custom G1000, full integration of the G1000 NXI support is included as well, and it is a custom built aircraft purely for Microsoft Flight Simulator, not a port over. And if you wanted to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $25 or your regional equivalent, available now from Cockspur. Continuing on with aircraft releases this week, we saw the latest in the Local Legends series of aircraft released for Microsoft Flight Simulator, with the release of the Cessna 195 business liner. Now, in many ways, it's a GA aircraft, but in some ways it sort of serves as the sort of first of the generation of sort of executive business transports. First flying in 1945, the radial-engined Cessna 195 was a high-wing monoplane aircraft with 4 passengers, and the first commercial aircraft with an all-aluminium construction. Now, this aircraft has been developed in partnership with Carinado, and in fact, actually, if I remember correctly, this is actually their sister brand, Alibedo. This was one of their products back in the day for ye old FSX that they've sort of rejigged and brought to life again in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Visually, it is very, very impressive. If you're looking for something that's going to have a full glass cockpit, you are going to be very sorely disappointed with this aircraft because it very much captures that era of aviation around the 1940s and 50s of that sort of, steam gauge aviation, and very much fits the bill of a local legend. Now, if you wanted to pick this one up and add this one to your collection, you can pick this one up for $15 or your original equivalent, available now from the InSim Marketplace. In another aircraft release this week, the team over at Ants Airplanes have made their return to flight simulation and made their introduction to Microsoft Flight Simulator with the release of their DH.82 Tigermoth for MSFS. Now, the Ants Tigermoth was one of my absolute favorite airplanes to fly in the old FSX days, and is an incredibly historic aircraft, and an aircraft that has so much history behind it, serving as a primary trainer for many, many Commonwealth nations in the sort of interwar and early World War II era. And many a budding aviator took to the skies for the first time at the controls of a Tigermoth. The Tigermoth in the post-war era flooded into the GA market and continues to fly. Over 250 of them continue to fly to this day around the world, offering experience flights and tourist flights at various locations around the world. Now, the team at Ants Airplanes had access to a real aircraft here in Australia, as Ants is an Australian developer, and the aircraft has been incredibly and exquisitely detailed in both its replication of its internal and external 3D modeling, but also in its rendition of its engine, of its Gypsy Major engine, including the fact that you actually need to monitor the oil consumption of the aircraft, whether you're not, how you run the engine, to whether or not you're going to foul the spark plugs, and even down to how you actually sort of crank start the aircraft. So there is an absolute incredible amount of detail once again that has come into this aircraft, and it is just truly a joy to see it gracing the skies in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The cockpit has been authentically modelled, including the application of a lubber-line compass, a compass that is a challenge. Even for me, I've been using it for quite some time, but it is still a challenge for me to use to this day, even though I've been using it in various aircraft for many, many years in flight simulation. But it does pay a nod to modern convenience by including a GPS is available. It's hidden away, and it is available if you so desire it, along with an electronic flight bag tablet to enable you to set a variety of user preferences, including whether you would like to have the realism settings set to easy or hard, as well as the states of the aircraft being saved, and autopilot and radio functionality also being included. Includes a couple of other different variations, including support for both either the normal and traditional tail skid or a fully castable tail wheel option. You do have, as I said before, it does have some included, very much some realism settings in terms of the engine, including the engine start and how the engine will perform if you overstress the engine. But it does also support, if you are more wanting to just jump in and fly it, you do have an easy mode with the easy auto start options are fully supported. And if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $18 or your regional equivalent, available from Justify or your favorite flight sim retailer. Continuing on with Microsoft Flight Simulator releases and moving into the world of scenery releases now from the team over at Aviation Sim Design. So this week the release of their rendition of Airfield Kyritz for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is a small commercial airfield close to the Baltic Sea and is used primarily for general aviation. And it's produced as the airport appears in 2022 with all airport buildings modelled, including a number of open hangars which you can taxi into. Full high detail textures used throughout, a variety of static aircraft with its weird tagline. They say partially real paint schemes. I'm not quite sure what that means. Either they're real paint schemes of aircraft that live at the airport or they're not. How will you get partially? That's a weird thing to put into your sort of promo documentation for it. Anyway, moving on. Replicated all runway markings, all taxiway markings and signage all replicated. As I said, all airport buildings done. Full layouts modeled as they appear in 2022. Also includes it doesn't just include the airport, but it also includes the nearby KMG Hospital Kyritz, including with a landable helipad to keep the helicopter mafia happy. So if you wanted to add this one to your collection, you can pick this one up for $12 or your original equivalent, available now from from Aerosoft or your favorite flight sim retailer. In another airport release this week, we saw the release this week of Empuriabrava Aerodrome in Spain. So apparently this is one of the most famous places in Europe for skydiving, and good luck for all of you who like to jump out of a perfectly serviceable aeroplane. But apparently it is known for that because of the beautiful picturesque area we include of the countryside nearby, including having a number of water canals, making it reminiscent of Venice in Italy. Though it is located just 80 nautical miles north of Barcelona and just near the French border. This airport comes to us with all airport buildings modelled with accurate runway layout as it appears in 2022, with a variety of custom static aircraft and custom features to bring your airport to life. And if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $8 or your original equivalent, available now from flightsim.to. In another airport release, this time from developer MK Studios, saw this week the release of their rendition of Shannon Airport in County Clare in Ireland. Not a lot of details coming from the team here, other than it's an up-to-date ground layout of the airport, which I'm assuming means 2022. From the images they provide, looks like they've included all the airport buildings are included with a fully custom modelled internal interior of the airport terminal. Full custom taxiway markers and signage all included, with a number of features outside the airport perimeter to continue to your airport immersion experience, along with full implementation of a visual guidance stocking system as well. Includes a custom airport mesh for the airport, terrain mesh for the airport and surrounding area, along with custom curated aerial imagery for the airport and the immediate surrounding area as well. And if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $13 or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. In another airport release this week, this time from developer France VFR, so this week the release of Marseilles Provence Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is a major regional hub providing home to a number of commuter airline services, most notably a number of low-cost carriers, as well as limited GA and freight services. This airport is brought to us with airport layout as it appears in 2022. With all airport buildings modelled, custom ground textures with all runway and taxiway detailed markings replicated. A number of photoreal 3D buildings are also replicated as part of it, as well as custom textures, with custom night lighting throughout the airport has also been implemented. Includes custom terrain mesh for the airport elevations and the runway elevations as well. If you wanted to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $10 or your original equivalent, available now from France VFR. Continuing on with Microsoft Flight Simulator releases this week, FS Live Traffic Liveries has been released this week and made available to the community. This is a free real-time traffic solution that leverages a number of different models from a number of AI model creators with a custom real-world appropriate liveries, and works to improve. It doesn't necessarily improve. But essentially works with the Microsoft Flight Simulator live traffic injection system by then allowing it to be matched with appropriate liveries that are liveries and aircraft models to give you a more immersive experience in your sim. So this brings us to a number of AI traffic add-ons that are available now, and this one again is a great quality product. It comes to us with over 900 liveries are included at launch, with more being released into the future. There's a number of different models there that have also been released, mostly focused around the airliner community. So it really only covers off airliners rather than, actually, no, it only covers airliners rather than any GA, while it does focus on, obviously, on the Boeing families and the Airbus families. It has a couple of ATRs in there and Dash 8s, and that's pretty much about it. But it does offer global coverage, matching of those models with their respective airlines. If you wanted to pick this one up, as I said, this is a free add-on that's available to you, available from the Fly-by-Wire Simulations add-on. In another interesting traffic add-on this week, we saw this week the release of Hawaiian vessels from Seafront Simulations. So this goes to add and expand. This continues their Seafront Simulations global sort of water traffic expansions by populating the islands of Hawaii with a number of custom ships. Now, this includes, not only does it include civilian boat traffic and enhancing marinas and various harbours around the islands, and various number of pleasure craft being put in there and placed into routes tracking around the islands. It also includes a number of cargo ships, as well as a number of US naval ships are also supported. This is also their first release that they have brought to us, which includes where ships are fully landable. So all US naval ships and all tanker ships that have helipads on them are all fully landable. So for those of you who want either a bit of a challenging STOL landing in maybe a Kit Fox, or otherwise are a member of the helicopter mafia, then this might be an add-on that you might want to pick up, because you'll definitely be able to go through and get some challenges for your helicopter operations for this one. Now, along with the sort of generic traffic and a various number of US vessels, US Navy vessels and civilian vessels included, some of the key ones that are included is also some static ships there, including the USS Missouri, which is docked in Pearl Harbor. In terms of the landable ships, you also have some of the ships that you have landable are the Tarawa class amphibious assault ships, Harper's Ferry class landing dock ships, Oliver Hazard Perry class frigates, and the Ticonderoga class missile cruisers and the Ali Burke class missile destroyers. So if you wanted to add these ships to your collection and give yourself some landing challenges, you can pick this one up for $13 US or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. Moving back into scenery releases just quickly here, the team over at UK 2000 released their latest airport this week with the release of Belfast City Airport. Not a lot of detail on this one, but it looks like it appears the airport layout as appears in 2022, with all airport buildings modelled, including a number of buildings landside as well, including the massive IKEA shop, which is just off the airfield perimeter. Custom aerial imagery is support with custom night lighting effects, number of custom markings for ground vehicles serving the airport, as well as a full set of internal tower details, as well as animated jetway support and internal terminal details. If you wanted to pick this one up and add this one to your collection, you can pick this one up for $17 or your regional equivalent, available now from UK 2000. Rounding out the Microsoft Flight Simulator releases for this week, the team over at PACSIM released their rendition of Seoul Incheon International Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is the a up-to-date layout of the airport, again, as it appears in 2022, with custom animated jetways with all airport buildings model, including the brand new Terminal 2 buildings, as well as the recent updates to Terminal 1. All of the major terminals are also modeled not only externally, but also modeled with the custom interiors. Also includes all the freight buildings and, as I said, airport layout, including taxiways and runways, including the new parallel runways of 16 and 34 left and right, are all supported in this add-on. As a bit of an extra one, it also includes a number of details outside the airport perimeter, including the Incheon Bridge connecting the airport with the mainland, along with the nearby wharf and coastal areas at Songdo and Incheon Island, custom buildings and high-rises at Incheon Island near the airport to aid in your approach immersion, airport fire stations and a number of airport catering buildings, and various different custom details included of the nearby areas. Now, if you wanted to add this one to your collection, you can pick this one up for $29 US, or your original equivalent, available now from Pacific Sims. Moving out of Microsoft Flight Simulator and stepping back to the past for a second with a recent release for Prepared, for the release from the team over at Fly Free Studios, releasing their rendition of the Antonov AN225 Mriya, or Dream. So the developer, a long popular freeware aircraft, this one. The team over at Fly Free Studios has this redesigned and redeveloped this aircraft and developed for the ground up for Prepared, and given it to us a new presentation of us with a highly detailed 3D model externally with a number of different features for the aircraft. Includes a custom layout, so custom cargo and custom aircraft configurator, allowing you to embed a variety of different piggyback loads, including the potentially British HOTOL, the proposed British aerospace HOTOL, which was a unmanned, fully reusable, single-stage to orbit prototype, or it's actually concept spaceplane. It never actually got off the drawing board, sadly. Includes a couple of different Russian orbital launch vehicles, an external tank option for ferrying space combustibles to their launch site, as well as the Buran orbiter. Along with this, it has a number of internal payloads and different variations of internal payloads can also be modelled. The aircraft's ability to kneel has also been fully modelled as well, and again controllable from the shift pop-up configurator. The aircraft's cockpit has been fully recreated with its Russian default, including Russian default units of meters for altitude and kilometers per hour for speed. However, there's a fully available, fully English translated version using Imperial units that is available via the configurator tool. Textures are delivered to us with 4K textures, and as I said, a custom 3D model and custom sound set delivered for this aircraft. And if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $25 US, or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Moving now into the world of X-Plane, the team over at Aerobask came out with their latest release, with the release of their first ground-up X-Plane 12 aircraft, with the release of their Viper jet. So this is a home-built jet aircraft available from Viper Aircraft Corporation in real life, which is a low-swept wing monoplane with tandem seats, and it's an interesting one for a home-built, and it's been quite successful in real life. Now, this rendition comes to us with a highly accurate 3D model, both internally and externally, with high-quality textures and with a custom FMOD sound pack, with a custom coding of all systems and avionics, recreating a typical layout for an aircraft that if we all had the actual money to buy one, we would be able to create ourselves. All the systems and codings are all custom coded for this aircraft, with an extensive option and configuration panel to be able to reset and change a variety of said instruments. It does also provide a number of third-party support integrations, including support for the Avitab plugin, as well as support for Reality XP's GTN 750 once it is available for X-Plane 12. However, by default, it does support Laminar's GNS 530 and GTX 330 for now. And if you want to add this one into your collection, you pick this one up for $35 US, or your original equivalent, available now from xplane.org. In a scenery release for X-Plane 12 this week from developer Axonos, so this week the release of their rendition of Palm Springs International Airport for X-Plane 11 and 12. So this is an airport, it's a rendition. They previously released this airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they've now brought it into the world of X-Plane. Gives us an up-to-date airport as a layout as appears. I'm guessing probably as it is a conversion of their MSFS 1, probably around 2021, but does give you all airport buildings and layout as it is for the time, including enhanced ortho aerial imagery for the airport and surrounding area, with all taxiways and runway markings fully applied and included. The only thing that I can sort of say about this one is just looking through the pictures of this one, I had a look at it and it's just something seemed off about the ground textures. I don't know what it is. It's just looking through a couple of the promo images that the team released for this one. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but just something just doesn't look quite right with the ground textures. Don't know what it is. Just something doesn't look quite right for me. Anyway, but if you want to pick this one up, you pick this one up from Axonos's Gumroad store for $20 or your original equivalent, available now. And finally, rounding out the NovaWrap this week, we put down our aviators, caps, and we put our farming equipment, and we head out to the farm with the latest DLC for Farming Simulator 22 being released with the release of the Pumps and Hoses pack. So this brings over 30 items from Dutch manufacturer Schoten and German steel specialist Stolkamp and biogas technology manufacturer BVL are included and give you new and interesting ways to deal with manure in the sim. Yes, you heard that correctly. Okay, so it basically includes a number of umbilical systems, i.e. your hoses that you can use to irrigate and fertilize your crops. Includes new tools and facilities to be able to make better use of your manure, to literally in their own description says, make more of your manure by separating liquid and solid components for a more versatile application of your resources. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. I really couldn't. Anyway, and there also includes new biogas plant configuration options to be able to be tailored to your needs and preferences, with various modules being dynamically linked to a root facility. And if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $18 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. And with that, folks, that does now round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Twitch. Just search NovaWing24. All right, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.